Hello, everybody, and just here, and welcome to yet another series of reactions on my channel, and yet another seasonal show. This time, we're taking Saihateno Paladin into our sights, into our aim. What do I know about this series? I have read the first, I think it was like the first chapter or the first two chapters of the manga, and then I kind of stopped reading it. I'm assuming whatever I've read will be covered in like the first episode of the series, so I think it's still fair to call this a blind reaction, a blind commentary, because I really don't know anything but the absolute intro to the series. As far as the anime itself is concerned, I know nothing about it. Honestly, it really did come as a little bit of a surprise to me that it even got an anime. Apparently, it's good enough and it has a large enough following that it warrants an anime adaptation, and I didn't know that it's this big. Now, I'm seeing some weird things looking at Mal. Let me show you. There we go. A lot of producers, Bilibili among them, for some reason. Did Bilibili even make any other shows? Fire Force Gleipnir? Okay, so it seems like Bilibili was Space Patrol Luluko. Okay, so it looks like Bilibili was involved in quite a few productions, and I had no clue about that. And the studio is completely unknown to me. I've no clue who Children's Playground Entertainment is, but it seems like I should know them because they made Citrus, apparently. And not much else. Well, some Hatena Illusion, a couple of series they did make, apparently. It seems like I'm checking out a lot of series by fairly small studios recently, and I'm fine with that, honestly. I'm very much fine with that. Um, I haven't looked into this anime, so I'm free of spoilers, I'd like to think. Now, it came out yesterday. It did come out yesterday, but I had some friends over, so I couldn't record it because they stayed up until late night, and then I only wanted to sleep. But I woke up today, had my breakfast, had my coffee, and now it's evening already. How the time flies. Hopefully the lighting will be good. I might be sniffing a little bit because it's cold. It's gotten cold here, like real cold, real quick. But hopefully that won't be an issue. I won't be looking at anything else when it comes to the series. Uh, just gonna We're just gonna jump straight into the anime itself. Let me switch the view here and go to the subs mode. Okay, I'm thinking future episodes will be releasing on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Because yesterday was Saturday, today is Sunday. I hope future episodes will be releasing on Saturday, but I can't guarantee it because Saturdays are often the most busy for me. There's always some family visiting or some friends, or I'm going somewhere, so different things can happen. But hopefully, I will be able to give you Saihat no Paladin on time more often than not. Okay, some flies flying around. What the fuck? Saihat no Paladin. Anything else I need to mention? No. Very short intro this time, for some reason. So let's not prolong it any further. We're gonna have time for discussion after the episode is done. Let's just start watching in 3, 2, 1, go. It's an isekai? I don't remember it being an isekai. Okay. Sumerian art. The myth of the creation of the earth. That's an interesting effect to show internal thoughts. So magic in this world is based on words. We're going Aragon. I always like magic systems based on words. There's something interesting about them. I don't know how to put it into words. What's wrong with my eyelashes? That's an imaginative name. I mean, I know those are like English names, so they do sound alien, but not to English viewers. I'm guessing he will discover this word sooner or later. I admit, even seeing, even reading the first chapter of the manga does kind of spoil the surprise of all of his caretakers being monsters. But I'd imagine to those who never read it, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, so we are starting early, and we're gonna accompany him on his journey to becoming the titular paladin, I'm guessing. Perfect for the season. She prays it into existence, I'm guessing, or something like that. It's been a while since I've read the manga, so I don't remember everything, even from the first chapter that I've read. It's the kind of world you live in. That you're an isekai protagonist. Ah, oh, God. Why? Is there honestly any reason for this to be an isekai? He could have just been an orphan left in the woods or something, and they found him. Ah, yes, the cum soup. Just a regular fantasy world, I imagine. Question is, do they have round cities surrounded by a wall with a river flowing through? It is. It actually is. They actually do have some good art here. I was afraid it's gonna be a low cost, low effort adaptation to capitalize on the apparent popularity of the manga, but apparently not. There is effort put into that. Like, you're in any position to talk about muscles. Well, kinda. You train them until they hurt, and if they hurt, that means they're growing. Okay, so he does have a decently overpowered power, but it can turn on him. If he's too good, he can hurt himself. There's a downside. Yeah? Yep. He's not wrong. Yeah? You could even hire a magician. You are perfectly capable of lifting a book, so you should be perfectly capable of lifting a coin. Unless there's some actual curse. Great name for a god of death. The ghost held on to greed. She held on to faith. The skeleton held on to his will to fight. Something like that. Okay, using a sling. Killing animals and maybe don't hunt like tiny birds. Like 20 tiny birds, just hunt one deer. I'm assuming it's gonna be easier. And I didn't finish my thought that killing a human that's actually trying to attack you, for example, should come easier than killing an innocent bird. Okay, so he's good with magic, not so much with a sword. Gandalf? Hmm. They were a party of heroes, I'm assuming. Set off to kill the demon lord or something. And they either lost or they lived and. Hmm. Well, duh. Of course. I don't think he was trying to hit you. Oh, by the way, I'm using subs, please. Subs. Bit late to mention that, but she's doing some human sacrifice or something. Killing it now. So she does pray the bread into existence. Unless she has a bakery in the temple. Who's gonna catch you? She does pray bread into existence. Is gonna get hit by a magical blast or something? Not quite. Some corrupting flame. That's why you explain shit. Yes, it is your fault because you didn't explain things. It is. You say, hey, at 11 p.m. every day, I pray bread into existence. Don't touch me or you're gonna get burned. Yeah, she does pray bread into existence. Why is... yeah. Okay. And that's why you're undead. Maybe just don't pray bread into existence. It doesn't need bread to live. Meat, vegetables, or grow your own grain and make your own bread. The bread of my retribution. Fucking hell. Well, that's the episode. Why is there so much more though? Why does it show me it's an hour long? Either the encoding got fucked up somehow, or it really is a two-in-one, an hour-long episode for the first one in the series, kind of like Tate no Yusha did it. But why have the ED then? Or is it the OP used as an ED, as they often do in first episodes? She will join our party. Okay, we now know who our party is gonna be. A dude in glasses, a lolly. We're gonna fight skeletons. And here's a spell sword. It's probably my favorite class in every game that lets me create a spell sword. If I can play a spell sword, I play a spell sword. Uh, why did Tact of Destiny start playing suddenly? Okay, so I guess it was an encoding error because it didn't last an hour. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Sure, that's fine. Let's switch to this scene and talk a little bit about this episode. It is an isekai. Now, as I said, I've only read the manga for like one chapter or two chapters or something like that. And I honestly didn't remember it being an isekai. And that's kind of the weird thing about almost an isekai but not really. If if the main hero being isekai'd here doesn't make any difference, why make it an isekai? And if it does make a difference, then why isn't it more prominent? Kind of weird if you think about it. But hopefully it's not gonna be a bad isekai. That's all I can hope for. We're getting some nice art. Reminds me of Sumerian art. Those people with beards and bird wings. It's so Sumerian to me. And I like that because it really shows uh, more ancient more ancient history. Usually you see art that looks maybe like Egyptian, not really, more like Greek or medieval. When they talk about the past, you see mostly like medieval art. This is very Sumerian. So it shows to me that this world and just that this world is more ancient than you'd usually think. And I like that because it gives me hope that it's gonna get a little bit deeper than I would have expected. Yeah, of course, we meet our first friend, Gus. Gus the Ghost. And it's kind of a pity that I read the manga, honestly, because I can imagine seeing this moment, seeing his hand appear suddenly. Yeah, this switch, seeing this, I can imagine it being a nice moment that really gets you into the anime, right? Oh, what's that? He's not human. He's a monster of some description. What's that? I did not expect that. I thought it's gonna be just a regular harem isekai or something. Tell me in the comments when you were watching it. Did you have that reaction? Did this moment of seeing the hand, the Gus's hand, did it get you more interested in the anime, into watching it? I'm willing to bet it did. I'm willing to bet it did. And now we know about magic. Magic is based on words. You write a word into the air and it becomes real. You write fire, fire bursts out. I always liked this kind of magic system, as I mentioned. I don't know why, but there is some aspect of discovery to it, and some aspect of using like the true name of something to have control over it. That's really appealing to me. If you don't know the ancient word for fire, you cannot use fire magic, right? And that's very appealing to me. The gods, this god Enlight or whatever his name was, graceful. I'm not gonna find it. Doesn't matter. He had a missing eye or something, and I've noticed that Gus has a missing eye as well. Could there be some kind of connection? Doubt it, but it's a nice detail. Mary the mummy, of course. Yeah, our second character. That's the mother of Will. Basically, she serves as a mother to him. Wonder what's about that veil. Are her eyes perhaps burned out or something? That's my suspicion. And now we meet the skeleton whose name is Blood. How could I have forgotten it? Kind of an ironic name, looking how he's a skeleton and there's not an ounce of blood to him. Well, I guess he used to have blood in his body back when he had a body. The bread, the focal point of this episode, as it turns out at the end. Bread that she prays into existence, that Mary prays into existence. But you have potatoes. You can make bread out of potatoes, and it's really good bread. You don't need to pray that single crusty looking bun and burn yourself when doing that. Yeah, you're gonna get used to to taking lives. Mary is protective of him, as a mother would. Yeah, because I guess that's where him being an isekai protagonist place into the story that he understands things much earlier than one normally would, because he already knew how to write, he already knew how to read. All he needed to do is learn a new alphabet, I'm assuming, new characters. The concept was already known to him, so he didn't have any trouble learning. Okay, bread, secrets, 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 secrets. He's a neat otaku that got isekai'd. I really don't like this trope, and I'm not talking about the trope of isekai itself, but I don't like the trope of a miserable neat otaku being isekai'd. I know that they're doing that to be more appealing for self-insertion, right? Oh boy, he was just like I am now. Maybe I will get isekai'd when Truck-kun kills me, right? I know that's the reason they're going for that trope, but I really don't like it. I really don't. I liked it in uh, what was the game? What was the anime called? No Game No Life. It was a little bit of a subversion on that trope because they were siblings and they both get isekai. That was good. I like this. I like the subversion in Shield Hero Tate no Yusha because he wasn't a neat. He wasn't a like super otaku. He wasn't a chuni. He wasn't a hikikomori. Right? He was a regular guy who simply didn't need to work because everything was covered for him. He wasn't even that into games. He was into reading. I like that subversion. I liked the isekai in Yojo Senki because an adult guy got killed and got isekai'd by being X. I liked all those subversions. I don't like the generic hikikomori otaku need getting isekai'd. It just seems kind of lazy to me. Like it's the default, right? I want to write an isekai story. Who do I make my main protagonist? Well, I want to make my protagonist this, this, and that, but who was he in the previous life? People don't usually seem to spend much thought onto it. They don't seem to give it much thought. They just slap in a generic need, and that's it. And I don't like that. I really don't. Vague marky memories. That's cool though. That's cool that he doesn't necessarily remember everything. He knows that he had past life. He has some memories, but they're vague, they're murky. Good shit. Just appeared. I wonder why. I wonder what caused him to appear. I'm assuming we will get to know that in future episodes. I hope, at least. A mummy, a skeleton, a ghost. Yeah, he started living with walking corpses. Would feed him. And that's just a beautiful scene. What can I say? It really is. Maybe a little bit too much bloom. if I had to be negative about something, but I really like it. And the animation on her dress, on her hair, the flare, it really does show that there was care put into this anime. It's not just a cheap plan to capitalize on a popular manga. He needs to build muscle. Oh, that's also a nice moment. Your pronunciation is too precise. You need to learn to control your accuracy, or you will kill yourself. That I like. I don't know if they will actually use that. I have a bad feeling that they will not. But I like it as a concept. I like it as a concept that our protagonist is powerful, is very powerful, but it has the downside that he might just be too powerful for himself, right? That he can cast a huge fireball, but if he goes all out, that fireball will blast him as well. He's not immune to his own magic, he doesn't have precise control over it, and he cannot have precise control over it. Because, as we hear later, yeah, isn't there anything I can do about my mixed results? No. That's what words are all about. Words have fluctuations. Your intonation is a little bit different, and you get a different result. And you cannot have the exact same enunciation of the word every time you speak it. It's impossible. So it's inherently impossible to fully control your magic. I hope this plays a role. I hope that we established it for a reason. I hope it doesn't immediately get dismissed. I really hope. I might be foolish in my hopes, but I really hope that it will be the case. Yeah, and Gus talks about money, 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 money. Demon beasts. I wonder if beasts will actually look like this in this anime. Somehow I doubt it. I'm assuming they're gonna be like generic zombies and generic skeletons, maybe a chimera or something. Like a wolf with red glowing veins. I'm not gonna expect much more. Killing. Yeah, you gotta kill an animal to eat it. You don't like killing. In life or death situations, you put all that aside and go for the kill. Indeed. But there's a difference between killing someone in battle, or you otherwise will be killed yourself, and killing an innocent bird, right? There is a difference. There is a difference in that. Kind of a philosophic thing, really, if you think about it. That somehow and sometimes it's easier to kill a human than it is to kill an animal, right? Even if a wolf or a bear attacks you, they do it to protect their territory or they do it because they're hungry. So killing them doesn't necessarily feel good, feel justified, right? Because you were trying to save your own life, but they were also doing about their business as well, having their own best interest in mind. With humans, sometimes you get attacked for no reason, for example, right? Or for a completely petty reason. Or someone is just an asshole and likes attacking people. Or someone is a psychopath and likes killing people. There isn't a lot of that in animals. So it always feels bad to kill an animal. It doesn't always feel bad to kill a human. Something to think about, I believe. Something to sleep on. That said, as I said during the episode, it would probably be better, be easier on Will if they were to just hunt like a deer or a doe or a boar instead of hunting like 4, say 8, 16, 20 something birds every day or every other day. Yeah, hunting bigger game would probably be better. Real life training, gets a sword, he's 8 now, and he can use magic during the fight. And he does use magic. Acceleratio. I like the sword design. This bit right here, in front of my finger. I really like that. I don't know if it actually has any use in battle. I somehow doubt that, but I like it. I guess it kind of lets you use the sword both as a cleaver if you grab the handle with both hands, and as a spear if you grab it more spread out. Cool design, if nothing else. Distance yourself, and he lost. Yeah, he did cast some magic, but he lost in the end. Yeah, he was a great mage. He was the war ogre. And Mary was someone else. And we also get this moment here. He might be of use. How? I wonder. Could it be? And that's completely just my imagination playing here. Could it be that Gus, Mary, and Blood were a team of heroes supposed to subdue a demon lord? They failed. They got a pact with the god of the dead, apparently, to keep living as undead. And even as undead, they couldn't finish the demon lord because maybe the demon lord needs to be killed by a human for some reason. And perhaps the three of them are hoping that will take up their mantle and go and kill the demon lord. I'm assuming that might be the case. And we're getting this shift effect when you zoom in the camera but do something else with the lens, so the background zooms in and the face also zooms in but at different rates. It is supposed to give us the feeling of foreboding, something bad being said. So perhaps Gus has his own selfish reasons, or all three of them have their own selfish reasons. There's a lot of mystery. His eyes changed. That's also a curious thing. And I think Gus is voiced by the same dude who voiced Dr. Shugel was his name, I think, in Yojo Senki. Yeah, Dr. Shugel. I think that was his name. We're gonna check it out. We're gonna check out the staff. Yeah. And he forgot himself, so he apologizes. They're hiding much more from him than was shown in the episode that they are hiding. Yeah, he's the father figure. And they're growing their own crops, their own tomatoes. And here it's established that Mary goes to pray and she prays for the bread. And it burns her because she prays to a god that, against the god she signed a pact with. She's like a warlock of the god of the dead, and she prays to the goddess of life. And yet the goddess of life hears her out, bestows bread upon her. Doesn't want to lose anyone, and no, a bit earlier, yeah. And it burns even him. Some goddess of life she is, eh? Yeah, yeah. It is. It is. It absolutely is. Uh, that's the thing about not explaining things. People want to know. Whether you tell them or not, people want to know. If you tell them it's a secret, they will want to know the secret. People are curious. It's in their nature. The best way to keep someone from prying is to tell them outright what's going on. Simple as that. If she had told him that every day I'm praying for bread, white flame engulfs me, don't touch me because you're gonna get burned. I'm fine with the white flame, but he won't be. He wouldn't have touched her. It's as simple as that. And we can see it everywhere, even like in real world. Things aren't explained, so people create their own conjectures. People try to explain things to themselves, and sometimes they come to wrong conclusions. More often than not, they come to the wrong conclusions, and they start believing in them. That's how a lot of religions were born, after all. What's the thunder? What is thunder? Now we know what it is. It's the difference in electrical charge in clouds and electrical charge in the ground. So that electricity jumps between the clouds and the ground. But back then, they didn't know. There must be a being that throws thunder at us. And he was angry at you, Brynjolf. That's why he struck your shed and it burned it down. Right? That's how people explain things. Why is there the day and the night? Well, obviously, the goddess of the night chases after the god of the day, or something like that. And as they chase themselves around the globe, day and the night changes. That's why you explain things. If you can explain something, explain it. It really is much better thing to do. Smell of incense. Yeah, they want to find hints. He wants to find hints. Bread is a gift for the earth from the Earth Mother, and he wants to pray with her. And that's it. And we get into the ED. We see an elf waifu, we see a lolly, and we see an old dude, probably a priest of some sort. And they fighting. Oh boy, they be fighting. Okay. That's it as far as the episode is concerned. So let me grab the Mal page again. Check out the voice actors. Okay, we already know that his name is gonna be Antonio. Robin a Goodfellow. Okay, that's a weird name. Meneldor and Stagnate, the god of the dead. And graceful, whoever she is. I'm not gonna look into the characters we haven't met yet. I'm gonna look into Gus. I'm gonna look into Blood. Actually, I'm gonna look into Nobuo Tobita. I'm gonna look into Katsuki Konishi, and I'm gonna look into Yui Horie and Maki Kawase because he's our lead. So might as well check them out. Nobuo Tobita. I need to fix that. It can't be blinding me every time I visit Mal. Someone in Brand New Animal. Ozu Toshio in Dumbbell. That's right. Yes, that's the same voice. I knew I know that voice. I knew it. And Von Schugel. How am I so right? How can one man be so correct in his assessment of voice actors? Any other role I would recognize? Yes, quite a big portfolio. I wish there was a way to filter those by series that you've seen already. That would make things much easier. But so far, I don't think I recognize anybody else on this list. At least not looking at the thumbnails. It's probable that I missed someone, but nothing else rings the bell besides Ozu Toshio and Von Schügel. Okay. Katsuyuki Konishi. Blood inside Haten no Paladin. I recognize that voice from somewhere as well, but I'm not sure where. Hopefully this list will help me figure it out, and his portfolio is even bigger. Can't say I recognize any other role so far. He did play in quite a few isekais from what I see. In Aono Exorcist, in Durarara, Hetalia, One Punch Man, Takehito from Prison School. Yes, yes, I can believe that. Oh yeah, yeah, I can hear it. Tsumugu from Kill la Kill. Yes. Okay, so I knew that I've heard this voice somewhere, and I actually did. I wasn't wrong, just didn't know who it was. Okay, let's stop. Olga! It's been a good while since I've seen Beelzebub, so no wonder I forgot. But yeah, yeah, Olga from Beelzebub. Go watch Beelzebub. It's an amazing anime. Really, really, honestly. And it's a long one, 60 episodes. Would have been better if it wasn't axed, unfortunately. Apparently, it didn't have good enough ratings, good enough viewership, or something. It was supposed to be a long running series, kind of like Black Clover and Naruto, Bleach, and so on. But it was stopped after just 60 episodes. I still want more. Because the ending wasn't quite satisfying. Wasn't the worst, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't all that good either. And now we have the voice actress of Mary. Felix from ReZero. Manami from Boku no Hero Academia. Anybody else I immediately recognize? I'm afraid not. It's not so far. Kosuri from Shimoneta. Anything else? No, 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 don't know any other character here, I'm afraid. So I'm just gonna stop scrolling. And Maki Kawase, the voice of our lead, William. So William is voiced by a female voice actor. Interesting. Is he gonna be a teen or a kid constantly? That makes me wonder. Because if a female voice actress, I guess that's redundant, if a voice actress is picked to voice a male character, it's usually to voice a kid or a child or at most a teen. Hmm. That makes me think we're gonna follow his story as he's young, kind of like Mushoku Tensei, I'm guessing. She voiced Askeladd in Vinland Saga? What? Junko in Zombieland? Eru in Hisomaso. Couple of characters in Center no Nayami. Not many roles. The only prominent roles really seem to be the one in Zombieland Saga and the one in Vinland Saga, two sagas. She did perform some theme songs. Okay, that concludes voice actors. Now I want to check more stuff. The director, and there isn't many positions listed. I guess character design, reload, right from the get-go. Character design. Mostly doing key animation and in-betweens. Chief animation director though on Bakuman. Key animator of one episode of Bleach. Worked on Gantz. Anywhere as a character design. Initial D, 7 roles as a character designer. Orenchi no Furo Jijo, Side no Paladin, Scarlet Rider Xex, Sengoku Paradise Kiwami, and Yarichin Bichbu. Okay. As a director, why are you still white? He does have experience as a director, even in Code Geass. Not all that many roles, and not all that many anime. I would recognize Seikon no Quasar. Would you look at that? Key animator and episode director in Seikon no Quasar. I need to rewatch that one day. And Zetsubo Sensei, key animation for episode 11 and episode director for episode 11. Another anime I need to watch. Okay, I think that concludes the staff check, and it's already been over an hour, damn. It's already dark outside. You probably could see the lighting changing as it goes from daytime to nighttime in the span of this hour. Any closing thoughts that I would have? Seems like a good anime. I don't think it will fall into many isekai tropes. I don't think it deserves the name of your seasonal isekai garbage. It doesn't seem like seasonal isekai garbage to me. I might be mistaken. Perhaps the second episode and the third episode and further episodes will completely break that illusion. But I hope not. And I think not. Do you know why? Because Will's party seems to be a lolly, an elf girl, and an old dude. It's not an old girl harem. So I'm still hopeful. Now, he might still turn out to be an all-powerful being that cannot ever lose, and we might get rid of any semblance of tension. But I don't think that's gonna be the case. They've established clear downsides of the word magic system, so I hope they will use them. I hope they will use them to limit his power, somewhat at least. Because we know that our heroes need to emerge victorious out of every encounter. That's not a surprise. That's really not a surprise. But I want to have some tension. I don't want every fight to be a steamroll, and I hope the fights won't be steamrolls. And I also hope that we lean a bit more into the mystery territory, because we've established some couple cool mysteries in just this first episode, and I hope we will focus on uncovering them. I maybe not focus, but at least like 50-50. Cool fights and mysteries, at least 50-50. Give me at least that much, please. I really want to like this anime. Visually, wasn't particularly outstanding, I have to admit. It was no Kill la Kill when it comes to animation. It was no Violet Evergarden when it comes to art. But it wasn't the art style of isekai garbage, you know? You know, the kind of art where everything is just mostly flat, maybe has a shadow, and not much besides that. There was some hand-painted backgrounds that weren't just 3D models with some texture embedded on them, or that were painted with just a texture placed. You can see that immediately. It could have been seen. We could see it. I have such a way with words. We could see it in Tact of Destiny. I mentioned the buildings having all those like, textures of bricks plastered all over them. There's none of that in Say Ho Hu No Paladin, or whatever the name is. I closed Mal and I can't remember the title again. Paladin of the End, I believe it's the English title. There was some care put into it, and I hope it's not for naught. I've also noticed there isn't any CG, so that kind of makes me hopeful that it's not gonna end up like Arifureta, for example, which was a difficult show to watch for some because of the sheer edginess of it and the sheer forced coolness, I guess you could call it that. But the absolute trash tier of CG that Arifureta presented us with was like the last nail to the coffin. There doesn't seem to be anything like that in Paladin of the End. So I hope we are for a good ride. I hope I won't have to stop watching it after 3 episodes. I hope it will not disappoint. Hard to judge just from the first episode, but I'm hopeful. And you guys, tell me what you thought of this episode. Are you hopeful that it's gonna be good? If you read the manga more than I did, is it a faithful adaptation, or did they completely screw up some things? Let me know. I'm curious what people who actually read the manga think about it. And I think that's gonna be it for today. So like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Comment what you thought about this episode, what you thought about my reaction. Do you have any comments? Did I miss something? Did I misinterpret something? Can't speak for some reason. If you really liked it and you want to support me, you want me to get a better camera, that is a proper camera, not my phone, go down to the description and support me on Patreon. For just $1 a month, you get access to my Discord server, and for a couple more bucks, you get access to early reactions of mine to shows that aren't seasonal, which currently is just Princess Principal, but hopefully I will expand my offering soon. And there are some other goodies there as well, so do check it out if you really liked it. Subscribe if you want to be notified of future episodes on this series and others. You can check out my tentative schedule in the description. Do all the good stuff as always, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Cheers.